theme of the night is Beauty and the Beast, but I'm going to change that up just a little bit. I'm going to talk about a beauty within a beast, and this beast is brutal. It is violent. It's even ugly the first time you see it, but I wager that after closer inspection, we'll all find that this beast is actually quite beautiful. And this beast is none other than Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This is the martial art where the sole goal is to incapacitate another person by cutting off their air or blood supply, or bending their limbs and joints in directions they're not supposed to go. This is brutal, but it's beautiful, and I hope to convince you all to give it a shot. Now, I first became interested in Jiu-Jitsu when I started reading about self-defense. As a man of science, I wanted to know what is the most effective form of self-defense, and in that search, I came across an article by one of my favorite authors, Sam Harris, who described Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as follows. He said that grappling with an expert is akin to falling into deep water without knowing how to swim. You will make a furious effort to stay afloat, and you will fail. To train in Jiu-Jitsu is to continually drown, or rather to be drowned in sudden and ingenious ways, and to be taught again and again how to swim. I thought that sounded pretty cool, so I walked into my nearest MMA gym, Kaijin MMA, and I gave it a shot, but just watching from the sidelines, I struggled to understand what was going on. To me, this just looked like non-consensual yoga. I hopped in and I gave it a shot, and pretty quickly I figured out that a jiu-jitsu sparring session works like this. So you start with your partner, you slap, you bump fists, and then you try to kill the other person. And you do that by getting to an advantageous position. That can be hugging their back, it can be straddling their torso, it can be hugging their body with your legs. But you need to get to this position to secure a submission, which can be a choke or a joint lock. And to demonstrate one such choke, I'm going to ask my girlfriend Julia to hop up here, and she's going to show us the rear naked choke. Now, this is a blood choke, meaning that I can breathe the entire time, but Julia's arm is compressing the carotid arteries on either side of my neck. And if she puts this on in less than 10 seconds, I'll pass out. It's like a real-life Vulcan nerve pinch. But this highlights the first really cool thing about Jiu-Jitsu is that it levels the playing field. If Julia can get to my back and put this choke on, her size and strength become irrelevant. So let's have an applause for Julia. Thank you very much. And so that segues into the next really cool thing about Jiu-Jitsu is that if Julia gets that choke on, all I need to do to stop her is tap. And that signals the end of the round. Julia won, and we can start again. So like no other martial art, we can fight full force, go up to the brink of death, stop, and return uninjured. And in that sense, it's kind of like drowning again and again and coming back to life to learn how to swim. Now, as I did this, I started to see from this ugly flurry of limbs and torsos, logic emerged. I realized that Jiu-Jitsu is like a chess match, except the board is trying to kill you. There's a correct sequence of maneuvers you need to execute in order to submit your opponent. It's always changing. So I fell in love with this cerebral puzzle-like aspect of the game. I looked for the most difficult puzzles that I could find, and I found them in this dude, Clement Shields. He's one of the gym owners and the toughest person at our gym. He's fighting him is like fighting a superhuman lumberjack. This guy just reliably kicks the shit out of everybody. And I'm going to show you some video evidence of this right now. Boom, boom, oh, beautiful takedown by Clem. He comes around, he puts on the choke, I tap, I'm done. And then we start again. Ugly takedown. Clem takes advantage, I expose my back, he takes my back, and he sinks in our good old buddy, the rear naked choke. See, it's funny. You see the panic look on my face. So, what I love about fighting Clem is that it's taught me to view my personal growth in a different light. I can never beat this guy, but what I can do is survive. So that's what I focused on. I fought Clem every single chance that I could, and I focused on success measured in seconds survived. Until one day, I managed to find an opening. Clem and I were grappling on our feet, and I managed to shove my arm in just the right place, plant my foot in just the right spot, put my hip in just the right way, and I threw him on the ground. It was fantastic. It was like this moment I couldn't believe. It was almost like I had reached up through the clouds and just slapped the face of God. I didn't even know what to do with myself. It didn't even matter that the next second Clem had just rolled us over and was twerking my arm behind my head. I had survived long enough to execute the correct sequence of maneuvers, and I got myself a little bit of glory. So I try to take that mindset and practice it in other aspects of my life. I try to count little victories, and this could be, a takedown thwarted, an attack evaded, but each of those is a little success in itself. Sure, I lost hundreds of matches, but I survived a little longer and managed to improve. So I built up my confidence over time, and I managed to compete. I won my very first competition. And I would love to tell you that I've won every single one since, but that is not the case. In the next 3 competitions, I got choked out in the very first round. But each one of those losses helped me to realize another thing that I find so beautiful about jiu-jitsu, and that's that, the next day I'd go to the gym and my training partners would have already seen the match. They would know how and why I lost, and they would show me how to survive the next time. And in that sense, our gym is like this laboratory where we're always testing what does and doesn't work. And that's what I find so beautiful about jiu-jitsu. There are no illusions. When you grapple with a black belt, they exploit your every mistake. They reveal and capitalize on your every error. And like nothing else I've ever experienced, every opportunity for improvement and growth is laid out before you in crystal clear clarity. And that's just more of what I find so beautiful. Jiu-jitsu is honest. It cuts through all the egos and emotions that slow us down in other realms. It teaches humility. It shows that skill and planning can defeat strength and size. And then most importantly of all, it's a total blast. It's the ultimate puzzle-solving experience. And I hope that you all give it a shot and come wrestle sometime. Thank you.
Amazing.